Okay, from what I recall, this point here, a lot of people in the springtime like to come here and hunt waterfowl. They also like to fish in the channel on an incoming tide, and also fish when the tide has reached the shore. You get a lot of salmon that come in the channel here because you got an outflow of fresh water, mixes with the salt on the incoming tide. So the salmon are sensing the fresh water and coming up here to Qanirtuuq Creek. They also hunt eggs here for wild bird eggs like duck eggs, goose eggs, swan, crane eggs. And then people come here and fish on the channel. I know now they're getting tomcod, and I've seen salmon smolt in the creek. And people come here and collect sourdock along the creek bank. Well, I think it's always been happening as far as I can remember. Listening to the older men talking about the river bank here is always falling down, especially the guys that go to the old village site, talking about the river bank falling down, and people are starting to see artifacts showing up at the old village. I think it was last year. We started noticing some flow. The year before it started looking like it would break through, and we've been watching it for a couple years, and eventually it just broke through on the high tides. So you can see flow coming down through again. When the tide is out, that's starting to dry up. Before we'd be able to take the boat all the way up and go quite a ways up that south channel. Now you can't even do that. It's changed quite a bit. I think eventually they're gonna have to cut in on the beachfront just to get access to that south channel there. And then on the south side of the channel is in between Qanirtuuq and Qanirtuuq, South Fork, and that's where a lot of people like to hunt waterfowl, and they hunt eggs over there too. Also pick sourdock, and then as you can see, a lot of driftwood shows up on the shoreline here, and people come here and pick up driftwood. They hunt seal. They like to come in to the slough, and then sometimes they stay here until the water drops really low. And so occasionally you might get lucky and get a seal right inside the slough here. There's been times where there was hardly any shore ice. Back in the old days, you'd be able to run quite a distance out to the end of the big sandbars and then launch your boat. Now it's kind of questionable how far out you can go. But I've been here when there was like 100 feet of shore ice. And then even in the winter time, you'd have people riding their boats out to the bay in January, which is unheard of. Back in the old days when they were doing the selection, a lot of people pick areas that they have boat access to. So along the rivers, along the coastline, that was what was picked for the most part. But then there was a few that selected sites that are along the mountains, because those were historically used for squirrel trapping camps. They were accessible during the early spring by dog team, and then they'd walk out or use the dog team to get out of the camping area and back to the river. I've heard people talk about it. The river channel changing and erosion occurring, and they're losing portions of their native allotment. Then on the shoreline, with the embankment eroding, a lot of folks that have property, they're losing property. I'm one of them.